What's up, YouTube? My name is Vinny Fraser, also known as Vincentius Music. Here's my beautiful fiance,
Becca,
and we are Real Blah. What's up, YouTube? Thanks for coming to our channel today. Real here. Today we're getting back into Terra Infinita. We are on Chapter 3, the Land of the Custodians. We tried to get into this chapter last time we were reading, and our daughter was making it challenging for her. She was being loud and stuff, so we put it down, but we're back. And one thing I was trying to point out before I started reading this chapter was that the Land of the Custodians are the race that controls us, manipulates our society in this circle environment. So I just found it ironic that they're the Land of the Custodians, and here we put people in custody. So yeah, something connecting fishy stuff right there. Alright, Chapter 3, the Lands of the Custodians. This parasitic race, as we briefly indicated in the first chapter, are beings that base their technology on attack and defense weapons, using all their potential in discovery, colonization, and exploitation of other lands, as well as beings they can find. Shit. Their beginning is unclear and full of questions. There are theories among the giants where it is said that the custodial race was attacked by some other race that did not even come from this great dome. Didn't come from this great dome. And in Chapter 1 they explained how they don't even know if you can touch this dome or if there's anything past it. That's why it's called the unknown out there. So that's a cool piece of information. The giants, where it said that the custodial race was attacked by some other race that did not even come from this great dome, and that they merged with the locals to create a great force that later gave origin to the custodians. Wow. This would explain the reason for their great development over other races that were still in their infancy, trying to survive within their circles. The custodians, it is said, were the first to leave their world and advance on their way to others, with great destructive and colonizing power, having reached each of the worlds and tried to explore around the known end of the worlds.
Which is crazy because we say we colonized the United States,
right?
Correct?
Yeah.
We use the terminology in which this is referring to.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's cool to think that, you know, the parasitic race as described here is the one in control and manipulating societies. They also happen to be the first ones out of their circle environment, right? And their only motive was to colonize and destroy. And
what's happening? We've had 2 wars, right? We're headed into World War III, plus all of the fighting in the mix of everything. You have COVID, and then you go on lockdown, which separates everybody, causes mayhem. More fighting, right?
Yeah. Fire.
Plus
drowning,
everything else, you know, you
flooding.
got the revolution, you got
Yeah, it's a lot. While they have been defeated on at least 2 known occasions by 2 completely different races, it is certain that they are also vengeful, and that if they have not yet tried again, they will soon. Or they soon will. The Custodians, as the only race, were the ones who attempted to enter the celestial lands that very little is known. Okay. Cool.
Where's the celestial lands?
Very little is known.
Okay.
I don't know. But that was referred to in Chapter 1 as well. They said something about the celestial lands.
The celestial. Where's the phone at? Where's your phone at? You can keep reading.
Because she comes from Ancestral Republic. So I don't know what wait, what was the word? Celestial lands. I don't know where that is. But if any of you are watching and are familiar with this map, maybe you can tell us which direction on the map it is. The Custodians, these lands are the most mysterious of all known worlds, and while all or almost all races existing today are aware of this place, very few dare to want to penetrate it. Oh. Okay. Yeah. Man, that's crazy. Okay. Sorry, I for a second I thought it was talking about the land of the Custodians, but it's saying the Custodians tried to penetrate the celestial lands.
Who attempted to enter the celestial lands where very little is known. So that's crazy. So if you look up celestial lands meaning in Google, it will bring you up the real meaning of the Thanksgiving story. Which what we were taught was that the pilgrims, went and they had a feast, and then we. That's crazy.
Yeah. All right. The story goes that humanity, in a way, comes from these lands. And that each of the humans have the source or life energy, also called soul, that comes from these lands. Therefore, the human destiny is to confront the Custodians, that whatever is done, the great clash will be inevitable. Let's read that little paragraph one more time. I think that's important.
Wait, hold on, pause. I also think that celestial is important. So the definition of celestial is positioned in or relating to the sky or outer space as observed in astronomy.
Mm-hmm. So that's the first thing I thought. Celestial lands is where God lives. But yeah, so the story goes that humanity, in a way, comes from these lands, and that each of the humans have the source or life energy, also called soul, that come from these lands. Therefore, the human destiny is to confront the Custodians, that whatever is done, the great clash will be inevitable. Man, that's pretty cool. I was telling Becca when I first got this book for her, and I started reading it, it's like I feel connected to it or something. It's something more, It's although it has already been tried, and the great forces between humans and Custodians have collided, with the help of the Anakim giants and others, history will surely repeat itself again in these lands. For that reason, we are very aware of everything that happens here. Any opportunity to free humanity will be used to the fullest. Also, we cannot make the mistake of the past. Otherwise, it is possible that now we may never have another opportunity. For each reset, weren't we talking about that? How
Yes.
there's been multiple resets? For each reset, the security becomes stronger, and the human standard of living becomes less and less free. The humanity that is living now is nothing like that of my ancestor in these lands.
In these same
lands.
That's why everyone's all like if you talk to somebody that is like 80 years old, right? They're like, gosh, this world sure has changed, right? Like, even though the next generation and everything's going to change generational, right? But at what point in time did something really happen that just changed the course of the whole world?
Yeah.
Right?
Apparently we're on the 6th reset. We're about to have the 6th reset. So.
Yeah.
But. Alright. For each reset, the security becomes stronger, and the human standard of living becomes less and less free. The humanity that is living now is nothing like that of my ancestor in these same lands, nor that of my ancestor to the previous one. Each reset is worse, stricter, with less freedom and greater manipulation. We escaped from these lands during the Great War. Have you ever heard about that?
The Great War?
Yeah, it's not taught in school for sure, but it is a myth or a legend, or just like the damn lands of the Atlantis and Lenornia, or whatever that land is called.
I thought that's what it said. I thought the Great War was just literally World War One, and I typed in the Great War, and it says World War One is the first World War.
Yeah.
Maybe
it's like somehow connected in a way. I don't know. Yeah, we escaped from these lands during the Great War against them. The giants helped us to form a larger block and confront them before everything got out of control. Unfortunately, when the hard defeat came, we knew that everything was going to get worse for those born here. That's you and me and her. Besides, they know that many escaped and that we would be a danger to all the manipulation and lies in these lands that they spread and control. Man, this is cool. It would be difficult to generate another new great Tartary with all the free technology and the great cities that we were able to forge. The truth is that we had the hope that victory and freedom would finally be ours, but by those things of destiny, we did not achieve it. We know that it was very close, but it is also true that the defeat would bring more misery to a new humanity. The risk was very high. The babies who are less than 7 months old are left at the disposal of the custodians in these lands, who with their technology take them little by little to a new beginning. This beginning is sudden and in various parts of the known continents. This beginning is sudden and in various parts of the known continents. So there will always be a part that will not have parents, grandparents, and so it will be until forgotten.
That's saying that, like, hold on, it says the babies who are less than 7 months old are left at the disposal of custodians in these lands, who with their technology take them little by little to the new beginning. So are we the new beginning? So then they're, like, bringing people from that place here.
Yeah. So the ones that escaped had babies, custodians take them.
This
bring
beginning
them here.
Is sudden and in various parts of known continents. So there will always be a part that will not have parents. Like me, I never met like my mom's grandparents, right? So is that what it's saying? Is that there's gonna be individuals that don't get to meet that person that was in the generation before them to give them the information and knowledge that they had.
Okay. Makes sense. Very cool. Once the number they said is reached, they will begin to manipulate the human to take them on the path they have decided. The vestiges of a past life will be intermingled as their own. Man. Even if the human of that time cannot reproduce it nor have the necessary tools, nothing will be questioned as long as everything can be demonstrated by the great leaders, or media, scientists, historians, scholars, celebrities, and all kinds of fictitious prestige. Fictitious prestige that they will invent depending on what stage of development the race is in.
Which stage of the development the race is in. Okay. Whew. I am a social work major, and when I just heard the stage of the development in which the person is in, it instantly takes me to the fact that when we are born, we are pre-programmed to know what we know, right? We learn everything. We learn how to talk. We learn the alphabet. We go to school.
We learn how to spell and cast spells.
And write sentences, and we learn how to... they, instead of teaching us all about our souls and everything like that, they put in, you need to know when this war was, you need to know what this war was. The earth is round and it has a hot lava in the middle of it, right? Now they're coming out with information saying that they have dug down and they are finding forests. And that there's a possibility that there's like forests and rivers in the middle of our earth and another life and a whole nother world inside of our world, right? But so I think that goes with like the predictive programming and everything that you learned as a child.
Yeah,
so
they literally set us up from birth, and our ancestors set them up to set us up to set our kids up, and it's just a continuing cycle. We need to get this fictional novel out there so people can read it and have fun with us. All right. I just want to run back this one more time. Nothing will be questioned as long as everything can be demonstrated by the great leaders, or media, scientists, historians, scholars, and celebrities, and all kinds of fictitious prestige that they will invent, depending on what stage of development the race is in. The technology will be delivered in small installments until it can reach the level that is also previously established by the leaders.
So you know that predictive programming?
That's what we get all the time with the movies and the cartoons, the Simpsons and shit like that, man. It's crazy.
Or it's like you can look into movies and be like, wow, look at the technology they have. They literally, like Avatar, for example, right? They have the screens where they can just do.
But they
have those. Yeah. They have those already, but they're letting the technology out in moderation, just like that.
So that you don't go, ooh.
Right. Like, whoa, how did we get all of this so fast? Like, no, we had to work to get all of this technology, right?
The custodians are arrogant beings who detest the human being. For them, the human being is a horrible being who smells bad and does not deserve any freedom. The custodial leaders are really hostile and always were hostile to our race. Wonder what they smell like.
That's your. I wonder what they look like. Forget the smell.
With their technology, I bet they could look just like us if they want.
Yeah.
That is why they control it. But they also do not allow anything to get out of the pre-established control. They would even carry out a reset before knowing that at least a single human could escape. they wouldn't carry out a reset without first knowing that a single human couldn't escape. That's how serious they are about making this colonization. The leaders many times met with the intentions of eliminating the human race, but there was much debate about it, especially for the tasks that are carried out here. That would bring much discussion among the same custodians. Plus, there is a small part that has a great relationship with the leaders. Our leaders. We've been talking about that forever, how Hitler met with some other beings and then came back and started killing things and wanted a certain type of being only to be left and yada yada.
And where did he see them at? The story goes.
He went to Antarctica.
Antarctica, right?
Yep.
Which is, if you go to ours, which I don't know exactly
It's
where
right
it's
above.
at.
Yeah, right there. Oh, right there.
This one?
Yep.
If you go to ours and you go to Antarctica, this is going to be, right, the
Mhm.
wall.
Mm-hmm.
So he must have went into one of these portals or
Well, he went
into
south
the
because
ice.
we know Antarctica is south. So he
Right.
went down.
Oh, this way then,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
And
Yeah.
everybody knows about potentially what they have
Mhm.
at, like, in the
And,
underground
like-
bases
like
in
right
Antarctica. The people in the military that are working alongside the aliens and the, like, so many things on TikTok right now. Just look it up. So many things.
Yeah.
The reptilians, the freaking different kinds of species, the grays, the gray fives, or whatever they're called. There's so many different things living inside of the giants still.
Yep.
It's crazy.
Plus, there's a small part that has a great relationship with the leaders. Many are part of lodges, military, or politicians. This is literally what we just said.
What's that one show where he, like, opens up the closet and he's like, I can be any person of the day of the week, Family Guy
That
or
is
something like that, and he, like,
Simpsons or something, yeah.
undoes it and
Yeah.
puts on another suit and now he's another person.
Yeah, he's the president, yeah. Many are part of lodges, military, or politicians who came to have direct contact with them and were rewarded with their passage to other lands. For example, the existing colony in the lands of Mars. Let's find that. Right there. Right above Custodians.
Land of Mars.
Literally, and there's lands connecting us to lands of Mars. It's called the Beard Strait. So
here.
there's a way to get there. It's cool. And as we said in the last one, since we're on the land of Mars, this is what you were talking about prior to us recording.
Look at all of
Look
these.
on here. Look on those words. Type them into Google and look at how they're connected to astrology, and how it's all connected. Like it's cuckoo stuff, man. Anyways, okay, where are we at? For example, the existing colony in the land of Mars. The story of the last reset. Oh, the last reset. This is it. The story of the last reset, where my grandparents were able to escape along with my mother, who at the time was a baby. Her grandparents escaped the Great Reset with her mother. That's sick.
Okay, look at, I just did one. We're going to just go over one, right? This one right here, I don't want to botch the name of it, but if you look this up and you just type in star next to it, we named the star. It's Greek name for Egypt, for land of mist, from form of poetic name for Egypt, right? It will literally, it says the name and then it says Mars right next to it, land of Mars, right? So
that's where
they
get
give
the names
us
from.
the freaking information. They just call it stars.
Yeah, they just have us look in the other direction. Okay. The existing colony in the lands of Mars. The story of the last reset, where my grandparents were able to escape along with my mother, who at the time was a baby, was due to the Great War that took place in these lands more than 250 years ago. Put on alert this race who thought they dominated these lands with ease. Until the union of giants. Yeah! Sorry, I always knew the giants were homeless. Alright. Until the union of giants and humans really shook their power. In the war, it is said that one of their most important leaders died at the hands of the giants' humans. You notice how there's a giants' humans?
Yeah, because they say that the giants started having sex with the humans, which created...
Yeah. Well, the Nephilim had sex with the humans and created Anunnaki.
There you go. So the giants had sex.
Or vice versa. Anunnaki
Something
created
like that.
Nephilim. Anyway, sorry, I just wanted to point that out because the giants and the humans were in coexisting, working together, fighting against the Custodians. And previously in this chapter it said that these lands are the ones the Custodians keeps resetting because they're fucking scared of us, you pussies. Alright, anyway, sorry. Died at the hands of the giants' humans. Bless you. And this also caused that the new human beginning in these lands. I'm a little confused. Let's start this over. In the war, it is said that one of their most important leaders died at the hands of the giants humans. And this also caused that the new human beginning in these lands, with babies of a few months, was carried out under a strict control and manipulation. It is what we are seeing in the current days and what we will continue to see in the near future if things do not change. The Custodians are carnivores for the most part. Although they can really eat all kinds of food, do they eat human flesh? I will come back to the question later, as I think it is worth talking about. They know agriculture well, being pioneers and experts in that. Well, yeah, they were the first ones to leave their bubble, you know what I'm saying? So
for being pioneers, right? Oh my gosh. But we give credit to the pioneers.
well, that's where they got the information from.
I know,
to tell us these
I know,
bullshit
but
stories.
like they hear us. We hear all the stories of the pioneers that came over the land and they did this and they did that, you know? So for all those people out there that are like dead set on what they've learned in school and dead set, just open your eyes just a little bit. Open them and think like what, like this can't be so spot on, right? Like it really just can't.
It's a really great fictional book.
All right. Did a good job.
They know agriculture well, being pioneers and experts in that field. Something they inculcate. Something they inculcate and educate the human after each reset to carry out these tasks of agriculture and animal. Dude, when me and my best friend John were kids, we used to say, why does it feel like we are terraforming the planet for another being? Like it feels like we're almost given tools to do things to the planet for someone else. And that's kind of like what this is saying.
Hold on. Field something they inculate.
Inculate.
Let's see how you say it.
Inculcate.
Inculcate. Okay. Instill an attitude, idea, or habit by persistent instruction.
Inculcate. All right. They know agriculture well, being pioneers and experts in that field. Something they inculcate and educate the human after each reset to carry out these tasks of agricultural and animal husbandry.
Yeah.
So that they can then increase their population as fast as possible. Man. They receive pleasure from human fear or sadness. All that negative energy can be absorbed by them. This is important too.
So, husbandry means the care, cultivation, and breeding of crops and animals, or the management and conservation of resources. The low borrowing demonstrates astute husbandry of resources. So it also correlates with not only the attitudes that we have, but what did I just say? The attitudes and what?
You're not on that word no more, right?
Inculate? Oh no, I don't know how. I just went back.
Me neither. Husbandry.
Management and conservation of resources. Low borrowing, right? So they can control the resources we have, as well as control the behavior in which we behave.
Exactly.
Control the behavior. Okay.
It literally everything. All right, this paragraph right here. They receive pleasure from human fear or sadness. All that negative energy can be absorbed by them that they really end up enjoying it. That is why it is common to see great sacrifices in ancient civilizations or great tragedies. The thirst for human blood. They enjoy these sacrifices, and in many stories we can find that they feed on this. They feed on the energy from the fear, and it's crazy because in all the research over all the years I've done of like Baphomet or just a Bohemian Grove or like any of these sacrificial ritual circles that they do, it's always so Luciferian to me. I always go back to Lucifer and God because that's how I was raised, and so but it's like the Custodians, man. I don't know. It's crazy. They reached a great development. Not that that's not what I don't believe anymore. It's just that there's so much out there. There's so much misinformation and there's so much good information. And it's hard to separate them, or it's hard to find out what is real and what isn't these days. So it really is all about faith at the end of the day. And so if at the end of the day it's all about what you believe in and that's all that really matters, then that's all that really matters. So just believe in what you believe in, you know? I don't They reached a great development in the modification of the climate, and it is common that they create great walls of ice around the colonized lands. They created the ice walls.
Around the okay, so look at most of these ice wall, ice wall, ice wall, ice wall, ice wall.
Okay, so I think on our land, if you zoom in on ours, so we have 1 and 2. I think maybe they created the second one, right? Or the third one. There's no way they created this one, right?
You don't think that I just said that they creted all ice walls?
Oh my god, dude.
So if I'm the first one to branch out and go, oh wow, how do we keep these people? I mean, I don't know how you create the ice wall. I don't know, right? We're all created from something, but
yeah, they reach great development in the modification of climate. That's how they do it. That's how they do it.
We're literally
that's what we're doing, yeah.
We have machines that can create snow and create weather, and
we got the information from them.
We have big, huge fields of these like, what are they called?
Cloud maker machines? I don't
know.
Windmills
type of thing, right? But they only have like 3 things or 4 things that go, and they just go and go, and once they turn that on, an earthquake happened.
Yeah.
Like, we're controlling it all.
Yeah.
Most of it, not all of it.
They reached a great development in the modification of the climate, and it is common that they create great walls of ice around the colonized lands. This they began to use in the last time, since before they had not reached this development. Okay, so after the last Great Reset, they started doing this. That's when they reached the development of climate change. And they reached a great last paragraph. The walls serve them as a great shield to be able to protect or enclose even more the colonized races. In this way, it is very difficult for them to escape, even when they have to leave some worlds by necessity to go in search of another. So they take control of the land, and they put an ice wall around it, and they go keep searching, and then they come back, and check on them and shit. That's chapter 3.
Wait, it says the walls serve them as a great shield to be able to protect or enclose even more the colonized races. In this way, it is very difficult for them to escape, even when they have to leave. I know, but I thought you just said them. So that they can come and go as they please.
It's difficult for us to escape even when they have to go.
No, even when it's necessary for us because of the lack of resources or because of all of these other things.
Okay.
They have made it so hard for us to escape it with all of the lies and all the deception and everything that they've brainwashed us with that we don't even know more than half the world's population don't even know that any of this, so it's
we're just learning about it.
Yeah, for sure. But it's been something that you have been interested in for quite some time everything, right? So for us both to just be super interested into it and branch off of what we're supposed to know, like at this point in time, they lied to us about how aliens weren't real and this and that. So, like, anything that's fiction, you should probably think is real, and anything that's real, you should probably take as fiction, vice versa.
Exactly.
Just like, what's that one big show that became huge?
Stranger Things.
Stranger Things. That's, I've been told, is based on real events.
It is.
Right? So, the government took kids and learned that they could have different powers. And
they did experiments on their mind.
Right.
And this one kid opened a portal, let demons in.
And look at what happened.
I don't know any more than that. That's all I know. But if any of you know more about Stranger Things and the true story behind that, comment below and let us know. Yeah. Also, in these past 2 chapters that we've done, the views we're generating are decent. They're not super great, like our reaction channel, for example. But I'd like to see some more comments. 30 views with only 2 comments. I'd like to communicate about this stuff, or maybe get your idea, or is this your first time hearing about it, or are you here to see what our thoughts are? Let's get into it. But yeah, man, don't forget to like and subscribe, and Terra Infinita, chapter 3, man, the land of the Custodians. We're moving on. Hope you guys enjoyed that. We out of here.